Joe Forbes is a co-founder of Biarri, commercialising the use of mathematics to solve business challenges. From a background in logistics to providing optimisation solutions for organisations such as NBN, he's an active champion of women in STEM and STEM in education.
Thank you, first of all.
You're welcome.
Why is it so important at this point in Australia's journey?
Our ability as a nation to be the clever country, it's going to be driven by STEM disciplines. And I think it's important that that capability stays onshore and that we can grow domestically. So we need to champion the parts of the ecosystem we think need work.
Yeah.
And STEM clearly does, right?
Sure.
Especially women in mathematics and women in computer science from our point of view. It doesn't mean we shouldn't champion the arts and what it can contribute as well. We have some mathematicians who have first degrees that are philosophy degrees. And, and I've got an arts degree as my first degree. And I think that's important because I often say to the team, we're not solving mathematics problems, we're solving business problems with mathematics. And the ability to frame the problem is about communication and understanding of the context. And then we often talk about, once we've framed the problem, worked out why we're trying to do something, we'll often then formulate it, code it and run it.
Yeah.
And that framing the problem is very much a soft skills problem. So,
and it's also fundamental to innovation as well.
Yeah, correct. So when we look at, especially sort of graduates that we hire, we're not necessarily after the young person who's, aced school and gone straight into uni and done really well. We like it if somebody's had a gap year or plays in a band or has worked at McDonald's, Bunnings, or have done something outside of, or have done a semester overseas, to show that they not only are great, of course they're a great mathematician or software developer, but they're also have a bit of a broader worldview. There's that concept that, I'm just not good at mathematics, and your parents go, well, what are you going to do with mathematics? And part of that's the perception of what certainly mathematics can be used for. So I think the challenge there has been to raise the awareness that there's mathematics in marketing, there's mathematics in human resources, there's mathematics everywhere, right? And that it's an important discipline that makes you an employable, creative young person. So if we need STEM-based, a clever country kind of competitive advantage, it's got to start with school teachers and the way we invest in them. Because I think that they have a real impact.
I think that's a great point because there's so much focus on we've got to teach kids STEM. We've got the conduit. It's the teacher.
Well, exactly.
Rather than just looking at the output. And you speak about women in STEM. Do you think historically women or girls have been disencouraged or disinterested in following paths in STEM?
So I think with women in particular, it's because we've almost subconsciously discouraged them. And it doesn't happen as much with boys. So I think we need to change that attitude.
So it's a cultural?
And I think from our generation saying you're either good at it or you're not, and I don't think that's true. Mathematics is a skill you can acquire.
So where do you see Australia's biggest opportunity in STEM in the next 20 years?
If I knew the answer to that,
you'd be very well.
That's right. It's often said that the jobs that our children will have haven't been invented yet, don't exist yet. When I go to careers nights, I often say it's a good time to be a mathematician, and because there are so many roles where you need that as a core capability. But it's also a good time to be outside of large organisations as well. 80% of Australians are employed by small business. There's a whole other ecosystem and small startups that are really consuming that quantitative capability in an organisation that's not in Collins Street, that works internationally on some really interesting problems. And there's companies all over Melbourne, all over Australia, like Biarri, that are doing interesting things in new fields. And they're doing it because they have a great idea, access to good people. So I think when we talk about STEM, we've got to make sure we're just not talking about big institutional STEM. We need to be talking about the creative ecosystems, and that's small companies.
I think that's a great point. Just one final question. What would be your message to anyone looking to get into STEM, whether at school now or already in another vocation?
Look, absolutely embrace STEM, but also have a broader set of interests as well, because and it talks back to STEAM or to the arts aspect. It's how we apply this capability and why we apply this capability that we need to consider as well. The other thing I often say is mathematics is a team sport, and that talks about the interactions you have to have in a team.
Yep.
And we achieve our best results when we're working in small teams that are agile and innovative.
Yeah, collaborating.
Yeah, that's right. So I think, and leadership, it's also STEM graduates who can lead, which is very much a human function in that sense. So I think that's the other important part for those, absolutely embrace STEM, but also participate in music and sport and the arts and all those things that help you bring your full self to bear, just not your quantitative capability.
Live a full life.
Yeah, correct.
Nice. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Derek. Cheers.